Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill. Today on Suncoast FYI, the Community Outreach Coordinator of the Understanding Your Brain Event Day, the Adoption and Assistant Coordinators of the 10th Annual Mutt Derby, and the founder of the Marietta Museum of Art and Whimsy. All next on Suncoast FYI. We begin our show with Community Outreach Coordinator of the upcoming Understanding Your Brain event, Melissa Vanderbilt Bestor. Pleasure to meet you this morning.
Nice meeting you, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'd like to start by finding out your story, Melissa, and how this became so important to you personally.
Anything to do with the brain is very important to me because unfortunately in 2007 I was in a severe car accident. A lady ran a stoplight and the seatbelt feeder went through my left temple. And for 3 years I had to learn to walk, talk. I could never be left alone. I would just black out for no reason. So my chances of getting Alzheimer's is greatly significant because of 2 brain injuries. So I'm over 80% chance of developing Alzheimer's. So anything that we can do to educate the general public on dementia and Alzheimer's, that's what I'm passionate about doing, and that's why I am the Alzheimer's ambassador as well.
For Sarasota, for the state of Florida?
Florida.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Wonderful. So the general public, who should attend this event?
Anybody who wants information about a healthy brain. Anybody who may be a caregiver, you might just have a loved one who has Alzheimer's, or just want information about how to maintain.
How to stay healthy.
Correct, absolutely.
We all need a sharp and healthy brain, and anything that we can do
to improve that. Absolutely, yes.
So there is a special movie that I understand that you're going to be showing. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, Glenn Campbell, who is a famous singer and actor, and it's his story. It's Glenn Campbell, I'll Be Me, and it's an inside story about what his life was like after he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I got to see a preview of the movie, and it is so touching, and things that you would never see, because when he's on film, even after his diagnosis, he looks like he has it all together, but then they give you the backstory of preparing to go on film and on tour, and it's great information. It's very interesting story, and I think people are going to walk away with a wow moment after watching the movie.
Now, how long is the movie?
The movie's 2 hours.
Okay, and the program takes place from 10 to 3?
10 to 3, yes. I do have speakers every hour on the hour, and they're going to be talking about different aspects of the brain, everything from what is dementia, what is Alzheimer's. I also have a lady who's going to be talking about nutrition and why nutrition is so important to maintaining a healthy brain. So every hour there will be a different speaker. I have a gentleman who's coming from Tampa. He's going to be talking about gene therapy and how that plays into brain health as well.
Now the movie itself, though, will it be on autoplay, or is it just one?
It'll be shown at 2:30 in the afternoon.
2:30 in the afternoon,
and
okay.
So it will actually run to 4:30.
Okay. Why did you decide on this location?
Because Northport is pretty centralized, so we're going to pull from Sarasota, Port Charlotte, Fort Myers, and I wanted a very central location. Suncoast Technical College is a brand new college, and they were willing to open the doors, and they have all the theater, they have everything that we need to make this a very successful event.
Okay. And how many people does the auditorium hold, Melissa?
It'll hold 250.
Okay. Now, is there a charge for the event?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Is there pre-registration?
No, ma'am. Just show up. It's March 23rd. Show up at 10 o'clock. Stay all day and have a great time and learn lots of information.
Now, when you're saying there's a lot that people can take away from this event.
Correct.
Talking to the vendors, will they have like breakout sessions, or are they one-on-one sessions? What is that going to look like?
We're going to have breakout sessions. So each speaker will start at the beginning of the hour. They're going to talk for 20 to 30 minutes and then open it up to questions. And then there will be time in between speakers where you can go and talk to the different vendors, pick up information about brain health and what they do and what their businesses entail.
Okay, now, so you have vendors as well. So how large is this? This is not just going to be in the auditorium. It's going to be
in the atrium. So when you come in, I'll have 20 different vendors that will have information, and then inside the auditorium is where the speakers will speak.
Okay, and tell us a little bit more about your guest speakers. Who are they? And
well, we start off the morning with Dr. Patel, and Dr. Patel is going to be talking about the different types of dementia. After Dr. Patel is going to be Dr. Gill. Dr. Gill is a neurologist, and he's going to be talking about what's the difference between dementia versus Alzheimer's, because that is a very big question I get all the time. After that, I have Dr. Mall. She's going to be talking about nutrition. I also have Daniel Lee, who's going to be coming in from Tampa. He's talking about gene therapy. And then to wrap everything up, we're going to have Dr. Ardell, who's going to be talking. So different doctors will be talking about different aspects. And then, of course, at 2:30 will be the movie of Glenn Campbell, I'll Be Me.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us? We've got a few minutes left here.
Just really want to share the fact that you can never get enough education when it comes to brain health. And I really think that people who attend this seminar are going to walk away with so much information, and really glad that they came and took the time to hear these different speakers and really understand what happens inside of our brains and how we can better help our brain and help our body as a whole.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll be there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. After the break, we talk to the adoption coordinator of the 10th Annual Mutt Derby, so please stay tuned. Our next guests are the adoption coordinator of the 10th Annual Mutt Derby, Susan Peake, and assistant coordinator Lynn Anderson, and JR.
Can't forget Mr. JR.
No, he's kind of our little elephant in the room today. So can we start? Can you tell me about JR and who he is and what he does?
JR is 6 years old. He just turned 6 this month. He has been, I adopted JR a number of years back from Fast Friends Greyhound Adoptions, and he has turned into somewhat of a local hero lately.
Tell us about that.
Greyhounds are universal blood donors, and JR was asked in an emergency situation if he would volunteer for the job, and we allowed him to donate blood, and he saved a little dog's life not once but twice.
Oh my gosh.
So we're very proud of him. He is a very laid-back gentleman, and it was very easy for them in an emergency situation to utilize his talents. So,
and they typically are. Greyhounds are just lovely, calm,
they're wonderful,
beautiful
couch
animals.
potatoes.
Yep. So we're here today to talk about how we're going to help all of the other greyhounds by participating, or having our mutts participate in the Mutt Derby.
Yes, right.
So is everybody allowed? I mean, what kind of dogs are we talking
about? Greyhounds and Whippets are not allowed in the Mutt Derby.
Okay.
Greyhounds have the advantage of being 43-mile-an-hour couch potatoes. So they're not allowed to participate, but any other dog is allowed into the race. They're weighed, they're put into weight categories.
That's what I was going to ask you, how you had that broken down. So how many weight categories are there?
There's 5 different categories, 1 to 15 pounds, 15 to 35, and on up. 75 and over is the largest category.
And who benefits from this?
This is a fundraiser for Fast Friends Greyhounds, and we collect food for All Faiths Food Bank. The entry fee into the event is a bag of groceries for All Faiths Food Bank.
That's wonderful. Now, the 10th, it's always been held here in Sarasota?
Yes. Well, Derby Lane in St. Pete's just had a mutt derby of their own last month, so. But we've
But it's
done
all
it-
for the same cause, to
Yes.
benefit the greyhound adoption?
Yes.
Now, I know that it must take a huge number of people to put this type of event on. Do you have volunteers that help?
Volunteers are our mainstay. We couldn't work this without our volunteers. We have a nice group of people who come in, they do the registration, they sit and pass out the ribbons after weigh-in. We have a lady that comes in specifically to weigh the dogs. Some of our track personnel help out. We couldn't do it without them.
Sure. Do you need more volunteers? Or do
We
you
can
have-
always use volunteers.
Okay, and we'll give our viewers that information, how they can contact you for that. Now, what time, I'm sorry, I may be backtracking a little bit, but I'd rather say it more often than not. What time does the pre-registration start?
We have pre-registration on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday from 10:30 to 3:30.
And what time does the event actually?
The event
Start.
is at noon on Sunday. You
Okay.
can register last minute from 10:30 to 11:45 before the event. We do get quite a few people who wait till the last minute. You have to bring proof of vaccinations. We have to know that they've
Okay.
had their rabies and vaccinations.
Okay.
So their tags, your receipt from the veterinarian is what you need to register them.
Okay, all right. And can you tell us about Fast Friends Adoption and how you became involved in that, Tara?
I became involved when a friend of mine who was a part of Fast Friends asked if I would possibly foster. Our dogs, we have many dogs available, but we like to get them into fosters. Foster homes are very important to the dogs when they first come off the track before they go into their permanent forever families. So over the past 2 years, I have been blessed to be able to have fostered 74 dogs total.
In how many years?
2.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, in 2 seasons. Personally, I have done 74 dogs, and we're always looking for foster families that would go ahead and take them into their homes for an undetermined amount of time. Usually it's a very short amount of time, but it gives them the chance to learn things, everything from differences in carpeted floors to tile floors, the difference of even having treats and milk bones and biscuits. Sometimes they have other pets in their house, and the dogs get to know them. They get to understand what it's like to live inside of a home versus being on the track and living in a kennel type situation. So that is something that we're always
Very
looking
important,
for. Yes,
right.
very important
Right.
for us to have fosters to volunteer.
Okay, and then of course if you foster and you decide to keep the lovely animal.
We
then
call
you
them
can-
foster failures. We
Foster-
love people like
foster
that.
failures. I
Absolutely.
like that.
I
That's
have
great.
failed personally 8 times.
Oh my-
so I have
geez.
8 of these lovely greyhounds at home.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. And ladies, thank you for being here. And let's have a fun event, and we'll
Thank
get
you very
Justin
Thank
much for
you
having
so
us,
much.
Nancy. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, the founder of the Marietta Museum of Art and Whimsy. We're joined in the studio now by founder, director, and curator of the Marietta Museum of Art and Whimsy, Marietta Lee. Hi, Mary.
Hi. How you doing?
Good. I wanted to have you on the show for so long, so I'm so happy you're here.
I'm very thankful to be here.
Well, everybody drives by and sees these amazing pink flamingos that you have outside. Let's start by telling them how you decided to do this? How to create this museum that you now have?
Well, sometimes things start with tragedy and wind up in something very happy, a happy place. So for me, my dad had a very big stroke, and my mother was trying to take care of him up in Connecticut. I am a registered nurse. I was working as a nurse the whole time that I went to Ringling College. And I tried to help out as best I could, and then I went up and back to Connecticut, and then finally I just stayed in Connecticut. Dad died, eventually Mom died, and I was looking for a place, well, during that time when I was doing caregiving with my parents, I realized that I needed to get away. I needed a little break. So I would go to art museums because, you know, I'm an artist also. So I went to art museums, and I was in Connecticut, so I went to Connecticut museums, I went to Boston, I went to Manhattan. And what I found was sometimes my spirits were uplifted. Very often they were not. And sometimes I was just frankly disappointed when I'd go into some place and my brain was all scrambled, and I needed art,
So
you know,
you
that
came
would
up
help me.
with-
Yes. So I decided in the back of my mind, "Oh, you can do better than that. You could do better than that." And you know, we all have dreams that are in the back of our
Right.
head. So eventually I thought, I'm going to start an art museum. And every time I go to a museum, I'd look up, I'd look at the lights, I would look at the where the bathrooms are.
Right.
I'd look at every
So you
detail.
got the whole concept
I had the concept, right.
and
Yes.
started the museum when?
I started the museum even when I was taking care of Mom and Dad. I was thinking about this, and I actually went to art shows up in Connecticut and the whole area, and I started buying art. In 2006, we got our determination letter from the IRS, said we were a 501c3. I got a checkbook, I put money in the checkbook, and I started buying art. So when you first start, you make a lot of what may be considered later on as poor choices, because you're looking for something with legs. You're looking for artwork that will inspire people
Sure.
for a long, long time.
And happy things. That was the thing that I tell everybody when I say you have to go to Marietta's Museum because
Yeah.
it will make you happy. You cannot come out of there not smiling.
Yes.
Right? So this is why you started the gallery,
Museum.
to bring joy to people.
Yes.
Is that
Yeah.
a good synopsis? Okay. And how long have you been open now? You said you started buying art in 2006.
Okay,
Have
so
you
that
been
was in
open?
2006.
Yeah.
I didn't have a place.
Okay.
I went through 3 different land contracts that all fell through. I got really upset, really angry.
Yeah.
Got on an airplane. I still had my little house here in Sarasota. And I came down. The next morning, we went over to what was then the Serendipity Gallery on North Trail. And we walked in, and I said, I couldn't understand the building itself. And I said, well, let me go out in the garden, because I'm a gardener also.
Oh God, the garden's so beautiful.
Thank you. So I went out in the garden. I got eaten up by mosquitoes. And I came back in. I said, you know what? I can do something with the garden. I don't know about the building.
Yep.
That's out of my brain. I can't really do that. But I can do something with the garden. So I put out an offer. They took the offer. Within 15 minutes, we had a handshake deal.
Awesome, awesome. Now, everything in there is owned by you?
Almost everything is owned by the museum.
Okay,
Okay.
And
So the artwork is, you know, I would donate to this to the museum, and then as curator, I would go out and look for artwork to be in the museum when it was ready.
now, are all the people that are in the museum, all of the artists, are they local or are they international?
They're from all over the place. So
Okay.
yes, we have some local artists.
Right.
Yes, we have some Ringling College graduates.
Right.
We have a lot of people from all over. So
Okay, and you have not only paintings, but you have
sculptures.
sculptures and the ceilings. When you said about looking up, can you tell our viewers a little bit about what they might see when they look up at your ceilings in one of the rooms?
Yes, in one of the rooms, I was down in Bonita Springs, and I went to this art show, and there's this guy with these figures, okay? And he had just built a brand new thing for himself, black, all black.
and they're
he went
mesh,
in.
right?
They're mesh. There's wire mesh figures,
Yep.
and they're dancing, and they're spinning from a cable, and there's a motor up above the cable, and they spin.
And to make them dance, the kids or the adults come in and they clap.
Well, actually, that's more about the laser lights. So we
Okay.
put laser lights up in there. We also have a disco ball. I don't know why, but I said we
See,
got to have a disco ball.
You've got everything in there. You've got everything in there. So can people buy things, or is this just yours, Marietta?
No, they can't buy anything, but on our website,
Yep.
which is whimsymuseum.org,
Yep.
we have an area called Links to Artists. And the artists that have a website,
Yep.
we link to their website. So you
Okay.
can get their phone number.
Wonderful.
This summer we have a big project going on where we plan to put an image of the artist and a representative image of their artwork next to it.
Okay.
So when people scroll down,
Yep,
they
they
can
can
find
out.
what they like,
Wonderful.
click on it, and
Excellent.
call the artist.
Okay. Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, 1 to 4. That's
Yes.
it. So people, you have to get there then, okay?
Yes.
Thank you, Marietta, for being here, and I wish we had more time. We'll have you
I
back.
do too. Thank
Okay.
you so much
Thank
for
you, dear.
inviting me. Thank you.
Coming up after the break, find out what events will be taking place on the Suncoast this weekend. Coming up this weekend on the Suncoast, want to have some cotton candy and maybe some elephant ears? Well, you're in luck because the 82nd Annual Sarasota County Fair is back, running from March 16th till March 25th. And enjoy St. Patrick's Day festivities at the British Open Pub, featuring Irish sing-alongs and jigs all day, along with traditional Irish delicacies. That's 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. If you would like to promote your community event on Suncoast FYI, we would love to hear from you. Just call us at 941-361-4333. To view previous episodes, go to snnTV.com under Programming. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and we'll see you next Friday on Suncoast FYI.